Hey, 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 good morning, future home buyers, and welcome back to Won't You Be My Neighbor with Brandon from Vegas. I am the title character, Brandon from Vegas. As always, this is my partner, Bill. How you doing, Bill? We'll get that right one of these days. And of course, we are back with our lovely, our favorite, Alexandra. Do not
right.
call me Alexandria.
Nope.
How you guys doing today?
Doing awesome.
Great.
Doing
I'm
awesome?
a little tired.
You were out till like 1 o'clock in the morning last
Yeah.
night.
We were out.
Do you have a Vegas story to tell us?
Well, not really. I mean, we went to the House of Blues, my husband and I. It was fun, and then I gambled and lost it in 5 minutes.
Did you play Buffalo?
Roulette.
Roulette. Oh, you're really good. What's your strategy?
favorite?
I love roulette.
You
Well,
love
I was a little rusty on my strategy. I have a bankroll of $200 that I've been working on since 2017.
do you have any left, or do you have?
I still have my 200.
You still have 200.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can leave the casino with the money you started with, that's a win.
It's a win.
That's a win. That's a Vegas rule. I thought maybe when you said House of Blues, I thought you said Fountain Blue. I thought you were out there with Tom Brady last night.
No.
No.
It was not. That would have been fun, though.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the videos coming out?
No.
There's, it's hard with social media because you don't know what time people filmed, but apparently they had like way overpriced craps tables, blackjack tables,
Wow.
like thinking that they were going to get a bunch of high limit players and
It didn't happen?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't show up. But again, that's social media, right? Like I'm going to go there this weekend myself to kind of catch the vibe, but from what it looked like, it was a pretty bad opening.
Interesting. Well, there's a lot going on in Vegas right now.
There
This
is.
week.
Yeah.
We have the Cowboy Christmas. We have the bull riding. We have rodeos. I mean, there's a lot of people here right now this week.
There is, and it's just a tough time. Like Christmas time's a tough time for people to spend money, you know?
Yeah.
Which that's actually not fair because Durango Station opened.
That's open
Right.
too.
And-
I mean, there's so many things going on here.
Yeah, they've I guess Durango Station kind of set the market for where Vegas is compared to the Fountain Blue, right? Because Durango Station opened with a ton of locals, which packed the building, and Fountain Blue didn't really. How many locals even knew,
I didn't know.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at our Christmas party last night, I had 2 parties last night.
Yeah.
I'm really tired.
Man, you were
Wow.
busy.
I was busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband sprung a party on me last minute.
What a
Really?
jerk, man.
Yeah. 50
Yikes.
people at our house.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of husband would do something
know.
like that? Who would just invite
I know.
50 people to your beautiful
I
home?
know.
Man.
Anyways, but a lot of people at our party were talking about they were going on to the Fountain Blue opening.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to get some feedback. I want some honest feedback, right? I don't really trust social media much anymore. I want to get some honest feedback
But
from
we're
them.
honest
Well,
on social
you're
media.
gonna go, right?
No, I don't even trust me. I don't even trust myself. And if you watch my food reviews, don't trust them, man.
Well,
I swear to
Brandon,
God.
I heard that Fountain Blue is going to have like at least 50 food venues. Are you going to go? And I know you don't always eat at those casinos type things, but you're going to go check it out.
I'm gonna check them out. I'm probably gonna do like a food court tour where I just pick like 10 spots and do like a little buffet out of it. But I don't know. I think station casinos have now set the map for how Vegas casinos should open. Focus on the locals. Let the locals come in and provide you the free social media, and then the tourists are just gonna go wherever we post about.
Yeah.
You know,
Excellent point. And that's free marketing for them.
it's 100% free marketing, and station casinos takes advantage of it every single time. They knock it out of the park every single
Well,
time.
and you're all about local.
Yeah.
I'm totally local. I
Yeah.
love it. Love it.
I remember when Resort World opened, I still haven't been yet, but they did a lot of locals as well. They let the locals in first, all the local influencers. I don't know. Did you go?
No, I'm not popular enough to get invited to things like that. Plus, all of my videos start off with, "Hey, the strip sucks. Here's a local place that you can eat that's better." So they're not really
Maybe not.
they're not a big fan of the way I do things. guys.
I know that when I'm out with you, people come up to you, "Hey, that's Brandon from Vegas. That's Brandon from Vegas."
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, tell me where to eat that's not overpriced on the strip. I got you. That's my jam, right? But no, so many things are coming to Vegas right now, but what we want to hit today is what's coming, what we expect for the real estate market in 2024. That is the biggest question I'm being asked right now. That's the biggest question. What do you expect? There's an election coming. What do you expect? What do you expect? So, Bill, as someone who works behind the scenes with all the numbers, who sees more data and does more research on financing and numbers and kind of future planning, what do you see coming for us in the real estate market in 2024?
Brandon, I have a stat for you.
Do you have a crystal ball?
Bill. Stat of the day.
Man, that was impressive.
I like that.
So here's the stat. Interest rates have dropped almost 1.5% in less than 60 days. It's gone from over 8% to somewhere close to 6.5% in less than 60 days. Now, that's one little piece of that, but the stat is this. A 1% drop in interest rates can bring in about 3.5 to 5 million potential home buyers from an affordability standpoint. If it's dropped 1.5%, that could be potentially 6 to 7 million new home buyers that could potentially buy right now.
Because their buying power's been improved.
And this is nationwide.
Nationwide. Not everybody's going to go out and buy, right?
Sure.
But it brings more people in, and it brings that thought process of people, I'm going to buy. So a lot of people that have been sitting on the sidelines right now, and you have this lack of inventory, you've got sellers that want to sell, but people are holding back. I think you're going to have more competition. And these buyers, I think you're going to start seeing values go up.
Sure. That's what kind of scares people, but they're stuck in between those two fears, right? Where it's like, oh, I want to wait for the interest rates to drop, but then here comes 3 million new home buyers, right?
Well, this is what we talked about previously. Right now it's this unique opportunity, like we talked about seller concessions, or we could even have seller financing. There's a lot of opportunities right now to get your home before the year end. People have to get them off the books.
Can you go over a little bit of seller financing? Because I think people hear that term a lot, but a lot of people don't know
what that means.
What does it mean for the seller to provide financing?
And it's something we forget a lot about because we know conventional financing. Conventional financing is you go to your bank or you go to somebody like Bill and you say, hey, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, or whatever you want to buy. I need to get the financing. I need the money. And so you would show up with your collateral and exactly what Bill does. Seller financing is you are now the bank. You, as the homeowner, will say, hey, maybe you don't qualify. Maybe you have a low FICO. Maybe you're heavy on the cash, but you don't have 2 years history of a job. There's all these pieces in the puzzle that have to go together in order to qualify for a conventional bank loan. So when you're a seller finance, you get to negotiate with the buyer, and it's what you feel comfortable with as the seller, saying, hey, either I know you're a relative, cool, let's not go through the conventional way, let's just figure it out. Or you might have somebody that is in a business person and they're like, this is an investment purchase for me or whatever. They may not be able to get a loan right now. So you, as the homeowner or whatever property owner you are, you would most likely hire a real estate attorney and you would do the lending through a real estate attorney and work it out that way. So you figure out what your down payment is. You figure out what you feel comfortable with looking at collateral. Is it 6 months worth of income? Is it 2 years worth of tax returns? What is it? And then you decide what you feel comfortable with. It's a great way. And then you figure out your interest rate and you figure out what you feel comfortable with as a homeowner.
Why would a seller take this risk on? Why would a seller just not do traditional financing?
This would be someone that says, hey, I want to sell. I'm ready to sell. I want to get this. I want to get this property off my books or whatever. So it would be in a situation where, again, potentially there might not be buyers that qualify.
And I think sometimes they can increase the price a little bit, actually gain more for somebody
That's right.
who
Thanks for
can't
bringing that
qualify.
up.
Sure.
And there's so many people. I want to say there's about 25% of the public that have owned their house free and clear. So if a seller does not need the money, for all the money for proceeds,
Upfront.
they can get a portion of it. Maybe 20% down, sometimes 10% down, but typically I would say 20 to 30% down. They get a higher interest rate. They get a return on their money.
And you can do interest only.
And they get some cash.
So so it might work. So if someone is, whatever you're selling your property for, let's say $500,000, and the person's like, I can't afford $500,000 right now, but if you do interest only for, let's say 5 years, 10 years, whatever, you might end up getting that $500,000 by lowering your purchase price to $400,000. Do you see what I'm saying? You're going to be making income on your monthly payments.
It's another negotiation tactic for a seller. in a market where maybe there's not as many buyers as typical, right?
Correct.
Right.
So let's say 2024 hits, interest rate keeps going down. Do you see, and we have 3 million new buyers in the market, do you see sellers feeling the need to provide their own financing if we have that many more buyers on the market? Or is this something that sellers typically only want to do when the market's a little drier, a little more short?
I say it's when it's a little short, when there's not as many buyers. So I think there could potentially be some sellers that are trying to get rid of their property now. Maybe it's a unique property and they want more. But I think more and more people, I think as the interest rates come down, I think the buyers are going to be able to get financing. But I'm going to give you a perfect example. I talked to somebody yesterday, W-2 employee, became 1099, meaning that they became self-employed.
Yeah.
Now they have to go 2 years again to basically establish their income. So they may want to actually search and find seller financing, somebody that's willing to offer that. And the seller could get potentially more for their house. They could get interest on their monies when they carry the note. And it may be a good situation for both.
Quick aside for the TikTok clip. If you are going to switch jobs, please buy your house before doing so.
Yes.
As Bill just
Right.
told you, every time you switch professions or every time you switch from commission or from W-2 to commission, your 2 years reset. So buy the house, then tell your boss to F off. All right?
Or if you're relocating to Vegas, buy your home, get pre-qualified before, talk to people in this room who are experts and figure out a plan, especially, or maybe you're going on maternity leave. You gotta put that in there too.
100%. For you, Bill's too humble to tell you guys this, but Bill works all 50 states. So if you're moving from Missouri to Nebraska, Bill can help you in that transition from there to there. If you're moving to Vegas, obviously he can help you in that transition. But before you guys move or start a new job, make sure you guys call Bill so you guys can get your pre-approval before you ruin your stats and ruin your numbers. Right?
We just closed one yesterday in Tennessee.
In Tennessee, that's right. So he's in Vegas, but he just helped close a loan in Tennessee. Like I said, all 50 states, right?
Yep.
So that means like Maine, Rhode Island,
Rhode Island,
New Hampshire.
I don't know all 50 states.
Vermont?
I don't think I could, get
I
them
was
all
going
out
to
of
name
my
all
mouth.
50.
I know you were.
You're going over the map.
No, stop.
So in 2024, if the rates now I don't think there's any way in hell we can do another 1.5. Anybody who's thinking that the rates are going to keep going down 1.5% until we get back to like the 2.5, it's not going to happen. Okay. If you're waiting for like 2.5%, I'm telling you right now, I don't mind going out on this limb. We're not going to see it.
It's not happening. We're not happening.
There's too many buyers with too much money, right? You have too many new millionaires and billionaires for the interest rate to go to 2.5%. Someone with that level of money could buy hundreds of homes at a time with an interest rate that low, right? Mm-hmm. Now, no predictions or nothing definitive, no crystal balls here. Where do you see that number starting to tail off? What do you see as like rock bottom for the rate, but like peak for interest rate buyers?
Yeah, well, in the last Fed meeting, they started to talk about how the inflation is definitely making progress, number one. And they're actually talking about potentially having more cuts on the Fed funds rate next year, upwards of about 0.75% to 1.5%, bringing the Fed funds rate down, meaning that mortgage rates, while not dependent on the Fed funds rate, they believe that the economy will be improving in terms of inflation, and it means that we will see lower rates. That translates, in my opinion, I've been doing this 30 years. I've seen it, up and down and all around. If I had to have a crystal ball, I believe that rates will stabilize somewhere between 5.5% and 6.5% in the next 12 months.
So 5.5% and 6.5%.
And I think that's going to be norm. I think that's, the days of the 2s and the 3s and the 4s, I think are gone. I think we're going to be able to touch into the 5s. And if we happen to get down to the mid 5s, it'd be awesome.
Fun question from my audience, because I know
don't plan on the 5s and the 4s.
Don't plan on 5 and 4s. Okay, so let me ask you a question. So it's 2024. Maybe the rates drop to like 5.5%. I lock that in, and then I'm like, you know what? Is there any way I can have a 3%? What would it cost someone to buy their rate down? And let's say they just really want it. They say, Braille, I don't care what it cost. I want a 3% mortgage. What would that cost? Just generality for me to go from 5.5 to 3%.
So in general, the old school, the way it used to be, and if it gets to a normal mortgage market, 1 point would buy the rate down 0.25%.
Okay.
So if you were buying it down from 5.5 to 3, right?
Yeah.
That would be
2.5 times.
2.5 times.
Yeah. So you'd have
So
to
25 points.
25 points.
No, I don't think that's right. But I'll have to, let me do the math.
Sure. So
And
it's
get back
10.
with me on that one.
It should be 10 times, right? So it'd be, you have to buy the rate down 10 because of the quarter. So
that'd
it's
be
4, and then 2 more. So 8. So 10 points.
10
so
points.
so 1 point is what? 1% of the loan.
Yep.
1% of the loan. So you'd have to pay 10% of your loan to buy the rate down.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But
It'd be like, so that would be 10 points on 400,000. That'd be $40,000.
Yeah. If you want a 3
if
point,
you wanted it.
But that would
no
be,
one's going to do that.
But you could
That's a
always
lot
go
of
back
money.
to the seller and say, hey, will you buy down my rate? That's another option that we forget about as well.
100%.
Asking the seller to buy it down.
Right
I'm going
now,
to throw it back to you because I want to say we are seeing definitely seller concessions in the market.
yes.
How long will that last?
Ooh.
Now, every time the interest rate drops, sellers pull back concessions. I'm just telling you guys that right now. Every time the interest rate drops, sellers are watching the interest rates the same way Bill is, the same way you guys are. Right now, sellers are like, okay, the market's easing up a little bit. We'll provide a little bit of concessions, but I'm even seeing it with new builds. New builds went from being like, bro, bring us a buyer and we'll pay. You name anything you want. Washer, dryer, blinds, closing costs. What interest rate do they want?
Hardwood floors.
Hardwood floors, they're naming it. Every new build's starting to pull back because they see the interest rates are dropping, so they don't need to offer so much to the buyers. And this is why we tell buyers what? Get in between now and about February because
I totally think that's the window.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say, looking at what the big home builders are doing is an excellent way to gauge what's happening in the market because they have the money, they have the homes, they have the research, they have people that are doing the research behind the scenes. It's very different than, Susie home buyer and
Susie home seller.
Susie home seller.
The first place I take new buyers is to new builds. Before we ever look at resale, go look at the new builds. I want you to see what the top of the market looks like, right? Because if we find a resale home within the same price of the new build, what the hell are you going with the resale for?
Yeah.
Why not just get the new plumbing, the new roof, all that?
Yeah.
New builds to me are a great tracker of where an area finds value.
And you can see what their concessions are. Are they giving money away
100%.
or are they not? Are they like, we're not giving, if they're not giving money away, you better get going.
One of our leverage tools that we do is whenever I find a resale house, right? I look at the closest new build in the area and then I'll call the listing agent and I'll say, hey, listen, there's new builds 5 seconds, 5 minutes from your property, and they're offering to pay closing costs on a brand new house, right? Like, why are you guys being so stubborn in negotiations, right? And that's kind of like my leverage point. It doesn't always work, but it's a great perspective to say, hey, listen, why would we buy your house at this number when the new build's willing to do a deal with us?
Well, and I look at it too. The new builds are businesses.
They're
They
business.
need to get rid of their houses because that's their business. They're selling houses.
And they're good at what they do.
They're very good. They're very research oriented.
They've been around for 50 years, for
dialed
75
in.
years. They're nationwide. They're good.
Yeah.
And so or basically a seller is an individual, and it's emotional. They're so attached to that house that they just
An
can't
intrinsic
give
value.
It up.
I don't
And
want to
so
sell my house.
It's
to you.
not. Yeah, it's not so much a business. It's the emotional sale.
100%. Let's go around the table, and I want everyone to give because I want to save this video. Austin, save this section because if we're completely wrong in 2024, I want to replay this video, and I want you, Austin, you have my permission to throw a pie in my face.
I don't want a pie.
Face.
You
You're
have-
not want a pie?
I don't know what you've just. I don't think you know what you've just done, but I will absolutely accept that.
I am a man of my word. If my prediction or Alexandra's, I will take her pie. Okay.
Two pies in the face?
I will take two pies
in the face.
to the face, and they can be creamy. Okay.
Bill's still getting his.
No.
It's
well,
going to
yeah,
be
Bill,
like
no.
eating his taco.
Yeah.
It'll be like his taco.
It'll be like my taco. I want everybody to go around the table and make a prediction for 2024 based on the information we've provided and the information that you know. We'll start with Alexandra.
Well, I was going to, what's interest rate today?
Interest rate today is 6.62% according to the Mortgage News Daily, which is a great online resource.
Okay. And what point next year?
Let's call it by this time next year in December. What are your predictions?
My predictions are we're going to see fives. We're going to see a little bit of the fives, but it's not going to be long. It'll be a short-lived like refi frenzy, maybe 60 days total, and then we're going to be back up into the high sixes.
So prediction is we're going to see a blip.
It's a long answer.
No, it's good. So your prediction is we're going to see a blip of mid fives. There's going to be a ton of refis from everybody who bought at 7 and 8%, and then it's going to jump right back.
And I think it'll be during the summer when it drops.
Okay.
Because we're getting closer to election.
Yeah.
They're going to see how the market, Janet Yellen's going to see how the market's going. We kick off the year. We talked about after Super Bowl, everybody gets out. So we're going to see what happens, and they're going to reevaluate, and they'll say, oh, surprise, let's lower them for a little bit. And then they're going to go back up towards the end of the year.
A little economic stimulation.
Yeah.
Presidential candidates love economic stimulation.
Exactly.
They get to take credit for that. All right, Bill, what is your expert prediction for 2024?
My expert prediction is that that was pretty close.
You're going to copy me.
Yeah, I might want to copy that. I think we're going to be around, I'm going to say 6.25.
Okay.
Somewhere.
You gave more specific.
Yeah, I went more specific because you were wishy-washy, but that was okay, So I think we're going to be in the low sixes.
Low six, so 6.25. You don't think we're going to see fives?
I think we could touch on the fives. I agree. It's election year. There's a lot of things. It depends on the jobs, as that goes about. We got 2 wars. There's a lot of stuff happening. So, potentially they could get into the fives, but I think we're going to be low sixes.
Low sixes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Low sixes.
I want to hear what Brandon says.
My expert prediction for 2024, and I gave this out in the live class yesterday, and I am fearless with this prediction.
Okay.
Bordering on reckless with this position.
You have me on the edge of my seat. I'm ready.
Everyone who buys a house between basically December 1st and February 28th, you're going to look at those people the same way you looked at people who bought houses at the beginning of COVID. You're going to look back and be like, damn it. Why wasn't I that smart? Why was I so scared? What was I thinking again? You're going to look back with tons of regret because I believe anybody who buys a house right now is going to get the best deal you're going to see in years. There's no competition. And the second that these rates drop, you're going to see millions of buyers jump onto the market, and housing prices will never be the same. This is going to be your moment. That's my prediction. And if I'm wrong, if we come back a year from now, 6 months from now, and the market hasn't changed and nobody's making a ton of money, pies all in my face. But I'm telling you, I am very confident with this prediction.
So what you're saying, people that buy in the first 2 months of 2024, I'm going to recap, are going to see their home value much higher by the end of
You're not going to have to wait 5 years to get your equity is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And so what's the interest rate?
If the interest rate dips anything into the low sixes, I'm talking about, it doesn't even have to be 6. If it's 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, you're going to see tons of buyers hit the market. You're going to see tons of buyers hit the market.
Funny story. At my chiropractor today, and I'm talking to him, about rates and all that kind of stuff. And he goes, Bill, I bought my house in 1999, and the guy that I bought it from was a Y2K person who said, I got to sell my house because the world is going to fall apart. He bought it for $295, and it's close to $1 million now. And he goes, I wish I bought
more.
All of them.
as many houses as I possibly could. But when I bought it, I go, God, I can't afford a $295 house. What am I going to do?
Where were interest rates in 99?
They were probably about where they're at now.
Yeah, the average, people don't realize the average is like 7%. Yeah. I am actually, I wouldn't call it good friends, but I know a couple of the guys from the basketball team we have here, the Ignite team, right? And I was shooting this shit with them about, because, they're looking for houses in the area. And they said the same thing your chiropractor said. They said, oh my God, we first got here 2020, 21. We were like, we're hesitant to buy. The prices are like $350,000. I talked to him the other day. He goes, that same $350,000 house I was looking at is $500,000 now. I wish I had bought 8 of those things, right? Yeah. You rarely ever meet somebody who buys a house and regrets it.
Yep.
Let's talk about monogamy right here. Did you know out of the 5,000 mammals, only 3% are monogamous? And I'm talking about homes here. We need to be monogamous with our home. We need to buy our home.
Is this the animal stat?
This is the animal
stat. Is this your animal fact of the day?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, this is important.
Alexandra's animal fact of the day.
Let's talk about this because people are scared to commit to their homes.
Sure.
People, your Y2K guy was scared. You're talking about the locals that bought, $350 or now it's $500,000. People are scared of committing to a home.
Yeah.
And it proves also in the animal
kingdom.
What was
it?
So out of 5,000 mammals,
okay, only
3% are monogamous.
So they have a commitment problem.
Yeah.
So even like platypuses are out there just fucking around.
Well, there was one. Well, I can get more.
Do you know the 3%? What are some of the 3%?
Well, one of them was the prairie voile, which is like it's like a mouse. It's a mouse.
A monogamous mouse.
Well, this was interesting about it. The male mouse, he stays with the first female he mates with, and if any other females try to come up in his nest, he attacks them.
Really?
He doesn't want them in there.
Oh, he's like, get these hoes out my home.
Yeah. It's very opposite from, I think, what happens for us humans.
Yeah.
But they said that whatever the chemical is that he has with his female mouse, the Mrs. Voyle, it's very similar to humans with their family. It's like, this is my family. Don't mess around with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
3% of mammals, right? And what, like 1% of men?
Well, I was reading that even swans.
Austin, your wife should like that.
But swans, they're not mammals, but they're saying that they may not actually be monogamous.
Swans?
Yeah.
What about the whole black swan thing?
Yeah, I know. I'll look more into it. We'll get into that one.
Oh, man, that's a good animal fact of the day right there. Platypus out here just banging around town, bro. Laying eggs in water and then just beating it up, man. These guys are crazy.
Beavers are monogamous.
Beavers are monogamous?
Yeah.
Beavers are monogamous. Okay.
We need to be more like the prairie voile here with our home.
I need that beaver.
We need to commit.
That's my favorite animal fact of all time. 3% of mammals are monogamous. My 13-year-old niece is scared to commit. If you're a 35-year-old adult person and you're still scared to commit, we're not going to use that word. You need to get your courage up, okay? Get your courage up. You being afraid to commit at 13 was adorable. You being afraid to commit in your 30s and your 20s isn't cute anymore. You're not going to get financial success being afraid your whole life. Just dive right in, right? And we're here to help. We're here to give you guys accurate predictions. This is a lot of expertise in this room, legitimately. Thanks to Bill, we have like 100 years of expertise combined. So...
it's getting up there. I don't know if I look good for that age or...
You look great for a vampire.
What's your secret?
My secret, just eating really well and having fun with the partner.
I heard your wife is like a vegan and she's all health and conscious. That probably helps, yeah?
Well, she's not a vegan, but man, healthy eating for sure.
Healthy eating? That helps, man. I wish I had a lady in my life.
So I eat what she eats. So look at me. Yeah,
that's
pretty
smart.
good.
Looking
that's
good.
Smart.
Looking good.
I'm sorry. For 150 years old,
he's like a sea tortoise.
Are they monogamous too?
I don't know. but they
there
live.
Was
they're
a tortoise
old.
that just celebrated 193 years.
Is that you?
And with that, guys, we got to get you guys out of here. Thank you, Alexandra, for bringing your animal fact of the day. It's a banger. Bill, thank you for the stat of the day. We'll get that right one of these times. If you guys need to reach Bill for any reason, and there are many reasons, to get pre-approved, to get your credit checked, to see where you are.
Run the numbers.
It's all free, Bill, right?
All free.
It's free?
Free.
It's free.
Free.
Free 99.
Yep.
Cost you nothing.
Free 99.
His number is right here. You can reach him directly, or you guys can find him on social media where?
O.Gaylord.
Oh, Gaylord. That's right. And I'm Brandon from Vegas. Honestly, if you just go to Google and type my name in, a bunch of stuff will pop up. Just pick one. Have fun. If you guys want to reach out to me, if you're on YouTube watching this, there is information in the description of how to find me. If you're watching on social media, there's a link in my bio. Fill out the real estate form. We'll connect you with Bill. Leave your guys' questions and comments below on YouTube. What do you guys predict is going to happen in 2024? Where do you guys see the market going? Where do you guys think? We'll come by. We'll answer your questions. We'll answer your comments. If you have a funny little animal fact for us too, leave it on. If you guys leave a good animal fact, we will go over it. We will go over it on the channel.
Alexandra will do research.
Alexandra's animal facts. We're always taking new opinions. So thank you guys for the episode today. And as always, come and be my neighbor.